Okay, can we finally put to rest that the Switch 2 absolutely destroys the Steam Deck in graphics? I am sick and tired of hearing Steam Deck fanboys saying the Steam Deck is more powerful when it clearly isn't. That's a sentiment shared in the comments on a video where I matched some of the massive drop of new Switch 2 Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay footage against the PlayStation 5 version. And between that video and a couple of other videos I've done along similar lines, like comparing it to the Xbox Series X and a pair of different sets of PC settings, or when I spoke about how the Switch 2 is indeed more powerful than the popular gaming handhelds when you look at the big picture of things. I have had a lot of, Tell you what, let's use the word enthusiasts of the Steam Deck make some rather bold claims about how they think when they play Cyberpunk on the Steam Deck, it looks better than the gameplay that we've seen from the Switch 2 so far. And look, Blunty wasn't a nickname I gave myself. It's similar to a handle I used to use, but it got shortened to Blunty, and it didn't stick with me for decades now because I'm known to beat around the bush with my strongly held opinions and perspectives. No, it stuck because I'm blunt. However, I am going to try really hard right now to say this in a way that won't get a bunch of people furiously tone policing me about how I said something instead of what I said, because I get that a lot. But are you out of your crap-filled gourds? In what universe of atomic-powered denial do you have to live in to think that this game, running at settings that the Steam Deck can handle while delivering a playable performance level, legitimately looks better than the gameplay we're seeing from the Switch 2 version? How many drugs have you taken? All of them? You took all of them, didn't you? What fetid mass of bacteria-riddled goo resides inside your cinder-block-thick skulls where a brain should be, is capable of making you say those things in public where people can see you? Aren't you embarrassed? To quote another recent comment on the last video, the level of insecurity and bitterness the Switch 2 has caused in Steam Deck fanboys is hilarious. Man, it's so hard to say things in a polite manner like I just did. You should hear what I really think. Hello again. I am indeed Blunty. And yes, what you're looking at is the new Switch 2 gameplay side by side with gameplay from the Steam Deck settings. Now, to be really clear on this, I do not own a Steam Deck. This is actually running on my ROG Ally, which is of course a close architectural relative of the Steam Deck's AMD-powered heart, only a more modern, even more powerful flavor. But I am running it at the so-called Steam Deck Golden 40 settings. Specifically, that is a collection of carefully tuned settings that the Steam Deck community largely have settled on to have the game looking as best it can while targeting 40 FPS, which is the target for the same reason the Switch 2 version has a mode that targets a 40 FPS. It is a notable improvement in feel without quite the same power overhead that 60 FPS would suck up. And these are the Golden 40 settings designed for the latest patch of the game. I checked them against 3 different Steam Deck specialist community sites to make absolutely sure I had this right. This is representative of what the game presents like, what Steam Deck players are actually playing the game at, with community consensus tweaked ideal settings. All except that I am running at 900p, not the 800p the settings recommend, because that's the Steam Deck's native screen resolution, 800p, and the reason I'm doing it this way is because the Steam Deck has a laptop-style 16:10 aspect ratio screen, while the ROG Ally, the Switch 2, and indeed how I bloody edit videos for YouTube at all, they all use the standard 16:9 ratio. Which meant the closest match I had for that is 900p. So in fact, this is very slightly higher resolution than the so-called Golden 40 Steam Deck settings. This is slightly better than what Steam Deck players are looking at. Very slightly. Also, exactly like the situation with the Switch 2 source footage, I am actually capturing at 4K. Cyberpunk on the Switch 2 has a 1080p output, that's what the game targets. The game itself scales to that from a lower internal resolution via DLSS. It is unclear if that is a dynamic internal resolution or if it's locked. We just do not have that particular information yet, but in the case of the Steam Deck settings, it is locked at balanced mode using XeSS, again, directly in line with the consensus recommended settings of the so-called Golden 40. So, I mean, you're looking at it, and you have been for a few minutes now while I waffle on. You tell me. Go on, Steam Deck loyalists. I dare you to tell me all about how the Steam Deck runs this game better than the Switch 2 at settings that you'd actually play at. I want to be really clear here. I am not shitting on the Steam Deck. I am not anti-Steam Deck. It's a very solid device, and it has done amazing things for not just popularizing this kind of form factor of handheld and portable PC gaming, because, you know, we've seen how it's quickly spread throughout the industry, but even more so, I love it for how massively it has accelerated Linux gaming. Linux game compatibility layers, and developer focus around low-end performance considerations. There are a lot of devs these days that specifically include low-end settings to target the Steam Deck. And all of that stuff is a big damn deal. So I don't know about you, but I'm pretty resentful of feeling like I'm stuck with Windows. So seeing the Steam Deck push Linux gaming forward at an ever-accelerating rate makes me very happy indeed. But anyone whose head is at the top of their torso, rather than being jammed up a brown hole at the other end of the human organ cage, has to freely admit, if they are in full command of their mental capacities, it's not made of magic, it has limits. And the Switch 2's combination of architectural advantages and efficiencies and NVIDIA's DLSS combined with the console nature of single-target hardware for ultra-tight developer optimization paths really does make it a very, very, very clear winner in this head-to-head. I can see that even if I take off my damn glasses. In fact, for these same reasons, I would call it a winner against the notably more powerful ROG Ally itself too, when it's running at its ideal settings. All things considered, and I love my ROG Ally, the little bugger punches so far above its weight, and AMD's APU architecture family that's being used in the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally and all the similar devices has been impressing me with its remarkable capability for gaming as far back as the damn desktop Ryzen 5 2400G back in, 2011? That thing blew me away. And all of these modern AMD APUs in the various portable handhelds are all descendants of that family. But yeah, I mean, we can start playing the what-ifs, if you like, and the, oh, you just wait until Steam Deck 2 arrives, or indeed, as I've seen from the Sony ponies in related issues, also lately, as they huff away on their copium hardcore, wait until the PS6 arrives. And you know, that's all fun. Conjecture, speculation, that's fun. Sometimes. Sometimes it's fun. But also, this is the reality, right now. Cold, hard, fact-based, evidence right in front of your face type reality. So, I mean, can you fanboys just be normal about this, please? Just for a while. just take off the crazy hat, put it down, have a coffee, and just relax for like 10 minutes. Can you try that for me? Just for me. To the rest of you who have, like the commenters I quoted at the beginning of the video, gotten really sick of this crap already, well, here is all you need for every damn time you come across yet another one of these people out there. Just link this video to them and dare them to watch it. Dare them to watch it while sober, preferably. Let's be real specific about this. Stop taking all of the drugs. Watch it while sober. And face reality, please. Thanks for watching. I am Blunty. I rather had fun on this one. Don't know if you could tell. I've been enjoying myself on this one. Somewhat a little bit less serious face than some of the other looks we've taken recently at this game and Switch 2, but, you know. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you as always to the patrons. I will catch you next time.